Hi, I'm attorney Kelly Longtin from Kelly Longtin Law, and welcome to our YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about estate planning and how it's really about knowing your priorities. So think about the world and how our loved ones will fare after we pass away can be a very difficult thing to think about. Although we all know that we will pass away at some point, this is not something that most people like to dwell on. However, by proactively planning and prioritizing your goals, you can craft an estate plan that allows your wish to provide the best future for your loved ones to actually become a reality for them. The first step in creating an estate plan is to consider your priorities. Your goals and your wishes will be unique to your circumstances, the needs of your loved ones, and your desires to support your favorite charities. Now, getting clear on your priorities is important to the estate planning process because you'll need to work together with a group of advisors to ensure that you have enough money and property at your death to carry out your wishes. Now, this coordinated effort will also help ensure that your wishes do not contradict each other or create any significant issues. Now, let's talk about some common priorities that you may want to consider. First is avoiding probate. Now, many people want their loved ones to avoid the probate process because it can be expensive and time consuming in public. It can also be difficult for a loved one to manage while they are grieving. However, some people appreciate having a neutral third party, the judge, oversee the winding down of their affairs in the event that there may be a conflict. You also may want to avoid conservatorship or guardianship proceedings. Now, estate planning is not just about what happens when you die. There may come a time when you're alive but unable to manage your own affairs. So, this is commonly referred to as being incapacitated. If you've not legally appointed someone to manage your finances or make medical decisions for you, your loved ones may be forced to appear before a judge and petition to have someone appointed to take on these roles. This process can also be expensive and time consuming and is public as well. However, if there's been a lot of familiar fighting or a neutral third party may offer the consistency and oversight that may be needed. You also want to consider maybe making post-death administration easy for your loved ones. Now, one of the reasons people have an estate plan is to make things easier for their loved ones. By having legally enforceable tools in place, your loved ones can follow your instructions and hopefully have a peaceful administration after you pass away, ensuring that your loved ones have everything that they need. How much your loved ones will depend on their unique needs. If you have a loved one who will require a lot of care, whether it's a minor child or a family member with special needs, they may end up taking a majority of the inheritance that you leave behind, which means that there may be less money for other things. Another thing that people consider or should consider is providing and protecting an inheritance for your child or grandchild. So, depending on their age and needs, children and grandchildren may not be best served by receiving an inheritance outright. You can create a plan so that your inheritances that you leave to your beneficiaries are held over time, with distributions being made at certain ages or stages in life or at the discretion of a trusted person that you have designated to be in charge. Now, there's many ways to structure these types of inheritances, and you should definitely know the pros and cons of each of them if this is a priority to you. So, another priority may be protecting your surviving spouse's inheritance. Providing for a surviving spouse may be at the top of your list of priorities. However, it is important to consider how you want to protect their inheritance. The more protections you put in place, the less flexibility and control your surviving spouse will have over the inheritance. You can also think about whether or not you want to disinherit a family member. So you may want to leave a family member out of your estate plan. If you disinherit a family member who thought they might receive something, there is a likelihood that the family member may contest the will or trust. There's also an increased likelihood of your loved ones ending up in probate court to settle the dispute. You may also want to consider providing for charities. Whether for tax or philanthropic reasons, giving money to a charity can be a great way to leave a lasting legacy. Just remember, the more money you leave to charity, the less that will be left to your loved ones. You may also want to consider reducing estate tax liability. Although estate tax only impacts high net worth individuals, potential tax liability is always something that you may want to consider. If you want to include estate tax planning in your estate plan, you may have to decide between saving your loved ones from estate tax liability and retaining control over some of your money and property when you're alive. You also may want to reduce the amount of income tax that a trust may owe. When a trust owns accounts and property that generates income, it is subject to income tax. Unfortunately, a trust reaches higher tax brackets faster than an individual would. If you want the income to be taxed at the beneficiary's rate, like lower, the income may have to be given to the beneficiary and treated as their money for income tax purposes. Now, avoiding will or trust contests. If your objective is to keep family harmony, especially if disinheriting a family member, you will want to make sure that your estate planning tools are clear about your wishes. This means that you need to work with an experienced estate planning attorney who can counsel you on your options and help you choose the path that will result in the smallest number of conflicts possible. So there's some things that you need to do in order to prepare. You can take the following steps now to ensure that your wishes are reflected in your estate plan and that someone can help you create a realistic plan for you and your family. You want to make a list of everything you own and any outstanding debts. You need to do a preliminary inventory to ensure everyone is on the same page regarding how much money may be available at your death. Although this amount may fluctuate with time, a current inventory gives your advisors a snapshot of your financial situation. Do not forget to include any life insurance death benefits in your calculation, because although you may not benefit from it during your lifetime, it would be part of the inheritances that you pass on to your loved ones. So another thing is you want to make a list of your priorities and the people or organizations that you want to leave money to. Make a list of the priorities that you would like addressed in your estate plan. You can take this one step further by listing the loved ones and organizations that you would like to provide for at your passing, an estimate of how much you would like to provide to each, and how you would like them to receive it. So you can meet with a qualified estate planning attorney and discuss all of these details further, but this will help you just by getting all of your thoughts on paper. So you then want to look at your notes you made that I just discussed and put these gifts in order of priority. Should you run short on money, which gifts should take priority? And you may be able to fund all of your wishes, but it is a good idea to have a plan B. You also want to meet with your trusted advisors. So after considering your wishes, meeting with your advisor team is the next step. Each advisor will be able to offer specific insights as to how you can help carry out your plan. A financial advisor can look at your current financial situation and make investment recommendations to support the gifts that you want to make at your passing. An insurance agent can help you acquire additional liquidity to fund your gifts. Then your certified public accountant or tax advisor can look at what you currently own and see what strategies can be used to make the most of your gifts. As your estate planning attorneys, they can also help you craft all of the important tools in a legally enforceable way that conveys all of your wishes. To me, creating an estate plan can be one of the greatest gifts that you give to your loved ones. So you want to make sure that you meet with a qualified estate planning attorney so that you can design a plan to meet your unique needs. Please like and subscribe our page below if you want to learn more about estate planning. We practice in Massachusetts and New Hampshire, so we are happy to help you if you live in one of these states. For now, I will see you next time on our next video where you can learn more about estate planning and the options that are available to you and your family.